Corry Matthews knows what it takes to build a strong body. She spent more than 25 years as a competitive athlete, including time as an IFBB professional bodybuilder. Now she's using that experience to help women over 40 understand their bodies and feel strong and confident again. She joins me to share more about her journey. Hi, Corry.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so glad to have you here. And where did your fitness journey begin, and kind of what brought you to the idea of working with women over 40?
So it started for me in high school. I fell in love with how the body works and how it moves. And from there, I started doing fitness competitions and bodybuilding. And somewhere along the way, at 40, started gaining weight as a fitness professional. And I said, what is going on? I know all the tools and trips, everything that you need to do in order to make it work. And I was just gaining weight. And so I said, something's going on. And so lo and behold, it was my hormones. And the doctor was like, you're just getting older. And I said, this isn't going to fly. I'm not going to just take it lying down. So
yeah, so you decided, no way, I don't care, we're going to do something about this. So how has yours, and also how does, in general, fitness and nutrition change so much after 40? Why does that happen, I should say?
well, the key is women always think I'm not doing anything different, but your hormones start to change. So when that estrogen declines, the progesterone declines, all of a sudden your body is kind of in this tailspin of what is going on. So we've got issues with cortisol. So what I tell most women is you kind of need to pull back a little bit. It's very different than a lot of the advice you're getting. Pull back, focus on your nutrition, and things will be okay.
All right, so what should women know about hormones, metabolism, and also muscle loss?
So muscle loss is a really big thing. As we hit our 40s, muscle starts to decline every single decade more and more. So the more muscle we can keep on our body, the better that's going to balance our hormones. Because when estrogen is really a fat burning hormone, and most people don't understand that, but when your estrogen starts to go away, all of a sudden we start putting on visceral body fat, and then our muscle is coming down as well. So if we can focus on strength training and doing things to help, that is going to be such a huge bonus for where we're going.
Well, this is such an interesting topic. And of course, I was not a competitive bodybuilder, but I went through similar experiences. After I reached 40, I mean, what was happening with all of this weight gain? So it's wonderful to know that you've been able to kind of address it and find out some of the reasons behind it. So let's talk a little bit more and go in depth about the importance of maintaining and building muscle, and how that importance increases as we hit midlife.
So I like to think of muscle as your foundation. If you don't have muscle, then you are really going to struggle. So, and it's super simple with getting muscle. It doesn't have to be, oh my gosh, I have to go to the gym. I think for a lot of women, that's super intimidating. So I tell women it's as simple as doing squats in your house. You can do knee push-ups, you can do crunches. Simple little things are going to help to increase that muscle and keep you moving. I like to tell women, as long as you are moving your body, that is going to be helping slow down your aging process.
All right, well, what about this mantra? Does it apply for women over 40 who might be struggling with similar issues? The whole idea of eat less and exercise more, is that the right or wrong approach?
So it's definitely the wrong approach. What I tell women is think of it this way: eat less processed foods, eat less sugar, drink less alcohol, and then instead of moving more, do stuff that your body loves. Don't beat yourself up, but find joy in your movement and your exercise, and then that will make a big difference. If you just eat less and try to punish your body in the gym, you're going to gain weight and you're going to feel really frustrated.
And really depressed too, because if you're doing all of that and you're not seeing the results, it sounds like this approach is a much better approach. So what does a simple protein first plate look like?
So just start with the basis of protein. Add your favorite protein. I like to say, if you can do chicken, turkey, fish, you can do Greek yogurt, you can do cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is having its moment. So start with your protein and then fill it with veggies. So then from after the veggies, then you can put on those carbohydrates. I don't want women skipping their carbohydrates, but focus on protein in every single meal and even your snacks, and it'll make it so much easier to get that protein in.
Okay, let's also talk about some myths. What is one fitness myth you may believed in your 20s that you kind of know differently now?
I think the biggest one is everybody thinks if you work out harder, if you exercise harder, it's going to make a difference in your body. As we hit midlife, our bodies are stressed out. Think about where we're at in our careers, where we're at with kids, family. There's so much dynamics going on that the body doesn't want to be stressed out. So if you can pull back and stop punishing yourself in the gym, do things like walking, do yoga, do Pilates, find an exercise class that focuses on weights. You're going to feel so much better. And we want to reduce that overall stress. Body doesn't survive in stress in our 40s like it did in our 20s.
Okay, all right. So what's the biggest nutrition mistake women over 40 make?
I would say it's eating all the fruit. People think that fruit is so important, but the thing is fruit comes with a wallop of sugar. Most of my clients, if we can significantly reduce the sugar or pair their sugar with a protein, that is going to be a lot better for them. Stop pounding fruit in all the time. Pull back on that fruit, pull back on your sugar, and you're going to feel so much better.
I want to go back a little bit to the whole exercise concept. You know, we hear these different things. How often should we be hitting the gym? And what should we be focused on when we arrive? Should it be the cardio, or should it be more muscle building and muscle toning?
I would say I like to recommend to clients move every day. So if you can get a walk in every single day, when it comes to weight training, 2 to 3 times a week is great. Focus on full body exercises. So that's why I said something like squats, push-ups. You want to make sure that all the muscles are getting worked hard and heavy, but that doesn't mean you have to put yourself in a dangerous space. Just lift weights. And one way that I like to talk about how you can get your cardio in is do something like squats, and then straight from the squats, move over and do a shoulder press, and then go back and forth. So do the squats, do the shoulder press, squats, shoulder press. If you do that, what you're going to do is elevate your heart rate, but it's not in a stressed out, just getting on a treadmill and running for 3 miles. We're going to be building muscle, but also elevating the heart, which is really, really good for women over 40.
All right, well, let's also talk about some of the other issues that affect women over 40. I mean, we're tired. You know, as you said, we've had a whole lot of life behind us. And the idea of kind of motivating ourselves to get out there and to get in the gym and to move every day, is there a way that women over 40 can boost energy and feel confident in their bodies again?
I say there's so much endorphins behind working out, exercising in general. There's a lot of studies out recently that show that if you just go for a 10-minute walk, you're going to boost your endorphins. You can boost your energy. So simple things like that. The great thing is most people can find a place to walk, or you can even just get up and walk around your house. You could do a couple chair squats up and down. That is going to get your endorphins going. That's going to get your heart rate elevated. You're going to feel so much better. And then I say, as we start doing little things like that, that's going to improve your confidence. That's going to improve your energy, because you're taking baby steps to get to that next step, and that will help with that energy.
All right, this is all fantastic information. And good news, you have a new cookbook. What inspired you, and what do you want women to take away from it?
So the cookbook was from years of giving recipes to all my clients and sharing how we do this. So I talk about reducing sugar, I talk about reducing grains, and then everybody was like, well, Corry, what is there left to eat? And so I figured I need to put it in a cookbook so that everybody can get this information. So the cookbook is all about hormone balance for women over 40. The best thing is that your family will eat it. So it has things like pizza and chicken nuggets and chocolate chip cookies, but it's also gluten-free, because I have a daughter that has celiacs. And so I needed to make sure that that was an option, but it's really good food. It's not diet food, it's real food. And that's the key.
This is fantastic information. We're so thankful that you were here today. Where can people find you?
So the easiest thing I say is just go to CorryMatthews.com. As long as you can spell my name, it's C-O-R-Y Matthews. And if you're old enough, you remember the joke of Boy Meets World. People ask me that all the time. As long as you go there, and I have a very active Facebook too. I know everybody in my age has Facebook too, but I'm also on Instagram as well.
You and me both, girl. You and me both. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And you look fantastic. These are such inspiring messages, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.